Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Jag from Jaggy Sports, and yeah, I sigh. It is December 30th, 2021. I'm sure the Lakers and the Laker Nation, including myself, are glad this year is coming to an end. And, happy birthday to LeBron James. It's his birthday. He had, I can't remember, 37 points last night or something, and he's been on a tear lately. Uh, yeah, it's just I hate to see it, but Lakers lost last night again, and yeah, let's take a look at this. So this is what John Morant had to say after the loss for the Lakers. Even better to send all those yellow, gold, whatever color jerseys you want to call them, home sad. You can take that to LA. That's some pretty harsh words, John Morant after the win versus the Lakers. So Lakers got to respond to this. I know you're gonna see Chris Broussard, Shannon Sharp, and Skip Bayless call him old. So you have to respond to this kind of, you know, um, criticism, negativity, and you got to respond 100%.
And could not be stopped last night as the Grizzlies put away the Lakers 104-99 at home. The Lakers seemed like they had it all under control, up 13 late in the third, but then Ja went into sicko mode, scoring 16 of his 41 points starting late in the third quarter through the final buzzer, igniting a 37-19 push by Memphis to finish things off. Now, the loss for LA was their sixth in their last 7 games, large in point to the 41 performance by Ja Morant, who became the first player, by the way, with consecutive 40-point games against a LeBron-led team within a single season. Despite the loss, LeBron recorded his 6th straight 30-point game, becoming the oldest player in NBA history with 8 made three-pointers in a single contest. You know what I love about LeBron? He's got records for being the youngest player for things, the oldest player for things. He's got a lot of range. Okay, so Perk, let's start with you here. Do you believe the Lakers' biggest issue is still their health?
You know what? No, because look, everybody is dealing with the same problems right now, whether it's injuries, whether it's guys entering COVID protocols. And at the end of the day, here's the thing. The Lakers have had throughout this whole entire season, 2 of their big 3 on the floor at all times. So they have zero excuses. We're talking about last night, and even without Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook and LeBron James are still 2 of the top 20 players in the NBA today. So they have zero excuses why they're losing games, Coach, especially the one that they lost last night. I get it. They beat the Houston Rockets. Everybody has beat the Houston Rockets. Hell, me, you, Monica, we can lace up Big Woody, even Acho, who's sitting up there. We probably have a chance of beating the Rockets. But when it comes down to the Lakers, it's the careless turnovers at the end, the unforced turnovers, just not being on time on one of course. And here it is, they haven't really beat one quality team yet.
Perk, I hear you, and that is pretty funny. I'm glad you put some perspective on beating the Rockets because I think people were getting a little confused on that one. However, I do think that their biggest issue is still health. You said it yourself, Perk. This is a team that, when healthy, has 6 future Hall of Famers. And you said if they don't get to the Western Conference Finals, or excuse me, you said if they don't win a championship, it's a failure of an experiment. If this group can get healthy, I personally still don't think they come out of the West, but I do think that they are a far better team than what we've seen as of late. In particular, in last night's matchup, and I'm not talking about the COVID piece, because you're right, everybody is dealing with that. I do think Anthony Davis makes a difference in this ballgame. It may have been closer. I think Steven Adams obviously draws the responsibility of defending AD, but in terms of the health of one of their keys of the big 3 and the guy that everybody said had to be the leader for this squad because he's the youngest and has the most upside left in his career, is Anthony Davis. And so I do give some credence when LeBron says that we haven't had an opportunity to garner any real chemistry and continuity because of the COVID issues and the health issues on this squad. I'm not saying that it's an excuse, but I think if they can get healthy around the All-Star break and go on a little bit of a run, it will be a team that resembles more of what the expectation was as opposed to this team that got us all looking like, what is going on?
No. The Memphis Grizzlies
No?
beat the Lakers a couple weeks ago, and they had their big three. They went down to Memphis and got smacked up. So here's the thing when you look at the Los Angeles Lakers, right? I always say it's not what you do, it's how you do it. And I'm looking at how they're
Mm.
losing games. Like, okay, Carmelo Anthony has been available throughout the entire season. Carmelo Anthony is one of those guys that I talk about as being a future Hall of Famer that the Lakers are going to have,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we already know that Melo is good at doing what? He's a walking bucket. But on the defensive
Yeah.
side of things, he's a liability, and guys pick on him in the pick and roll. I don't know if Melo footwork and lateral movement is going to get better throughout the course of the season. This might be just who he is. So when I'm looking at the Lakers and I'm looking at what they have to do, I'm looking at some games they have to move LeBron James to the 5. Do you think if LeBron James had to match up, if they matched up with the Utah Jazz, for example, LeBron James had to go down there for an entire game series and battle with Rudy Gobert down there in the paint? You think he will be able to sustain that? I'm not doubting him, but it would just put a lot of pressure on LeBron James. So when I'm looking at the Lakers, again, Monica, I'm going to tell you this. The entire season, they have had 2 out of their 3 big three has been available for them throughout this whole season. They have 0 excuses to be 2 games under 500.
Well, Kendrick, I understand what you're saying, and I agree with you that if LeBron had to go to the 5, it's a tough day at work versus a team like the Utah Jazz. But I do not believe that this team has shown us everything that they can be. I think this team healthy will be better. Do I think that they are the Western Conference champs? No. And I 100% agree with you. The Memphis Grizzlies, baby, have arrived in fine fashion.
Okay, let me ask you a question. What is the
What's that?
Lakers' expectations this season? What is their expectations?
For me personally, I just expected them to be a playoff team.
No, not for you. I said, what are the Lakers'
Okay.
expectations?
It is obviously a unit that was put together to go get a ring.
Okay. Do you feel like they're going to go get a ring?
No, I don't. I've been felt like that.
So you just answered my question. What are we even talking about? Because for the simple fact,
What type
if
of-
they're healthy, because if they're healthy,
Talk about growth.
if they're healthy, then the expectations for them is for them to go win a championship. Not to say, oh, they're going to make some noise throughout the playoffs or actually reach the conference finals. No, if they're healthy, they're supposed to go win a championship. And you and I both know, Monica, we're both right there in the thick of things. 2 people that watch basketball all day long, that the Lakers are not winning no championship with this Lakers team constructed, even if they are healthy.
So, John Morant calling out the Lakers, trashing them, and you know what? I like to see this kind of thing because it just, somebody had to say it, right? Like somebody had to strike something like light a fire into their ass kind of thing, because quite frankly they need it. And I miss that kind of trash talk. The last person that had that kind of trash talk on public was Kobe or KG, or I just can't remember the last time anyone's ever said that kind of thing. But kudos on John Morant. He played one hell of a game last night, and I believe they're on a back-to-back. I don't think they play tonight. I think they play tomorrow. But, kudos on that. And we'll see what happens. So basically, Lakers really need to do something. They really need a freaking trade. That's what they need. And the rumor has it that the Cavs are targeting Jeremiah Grant or Ben Simmons. But where does that leave the Lakers? I'm hearing that they're trying to go for Miles Turner or Jeremiah Grant. But, you never know what's going to happen. I think the Lakers just need to play a little bit better. Austin Reeves and I think it was Kendrick Nunn got out of COVID protocol, so hopefully they can get reconditioning again and join that team. Lakers are 1-5 when LeBron James is over 30 points. That just proves that you need to share the ball. And, I hate to diss him on his birthday, but You know, you got to play a little. Yeah, you got to gather the troops or something, because Lakers are hot garbage right now, 100%. I hate saying that, but they got to figure something out. I wish they would win tomorrow night's game against Memphis, because, John Morant's calling them out. And when somebody's calling you out like that, you have to respond. You have to respond. So, I hope they do respond, and I hope it goes well. This is Jag from Jaggy Sports. It is December 30th, 2021.